that, of course, Still Lovin' You from the Scorpions, one of the classic 80s power ballads. Now, I'm going to break that one down in depth momentarily, but I want to talk about the Scorpions in general for a moment and their long history of power ballads. I think you could make a legitimate argument that they were one of the earliest progenitors of the rock power ballad and that they may have done it better than anyone else. Also, real quick before I dive in, want to mention this is another commission video. This is the second video I'll be doing for Karen Jackie, a huge supporter of the channel. She wanted a breakdown of a good old power ballad, and we settled on this. Remember, if there's a subject you want me to cover, go to mjerant.com, send me an email, and we can work out the details for a nominal fee. I'm happy to do a video for you. All right, let's get going. So anyone who's familiar with the Scorpions knows their career had two distinct phases. Back in the 1970s, they were much less radio friendly, almost proggy at times, and I think a lot of that had to do with original lead guitarist Uli John Roth, an amazing guitarist who was a huge influence on many of the so-called shredders that came along later on. But even in those days, there were very melodic songs that could be called power ballads. Take something like In Trance from way back in 1975.
I see your face and I see myself and I get a little taste of life. I try to stand it for a while, but I'm in a trance. Hey baby, tell me, can't you hear me calling? I'm in a trance.
But then right around the turn of the decade, Matthias Jabs was recruited to replace Roth as lead guitarist, and things changed in a hurry. From that point on, every Scorpions album had at least one great power ballad. Some might even say it was a bit formulaic, even the placement of the song. Generally, it was the last song on the album or maybe the last song on side one. But they were great songs. On Love Drive, we had Holiday. On Animal Magnetism, there was Lady Starlight. Now, Lady Starlight, you could argue, is just a straight up ballad. Forget the power, because when I think of a power ballad, it's always got to have that crunchy part, the power chords that make you want to raise your fist in the air. But Lady Starlight kind of stays mellow all the way through. Then came the Blackout album. We had When the Smoke is Going Down, one of my favorites. And that brings us to Love at First Sting, containing the subject of this video. They draw the listener in right away with a set of really beautiful arpeggiated chords in the intro. Now, some of the tabs I've seen claim that this is tuned down a half step, but listening back to the recording, it sounds to me like it's just a hair lower than standard, a microtone. And that's kind of cool. It must have been one of those organic things where maybe rhythm guitarist Rudolf Schenker or Matthias just said, hey guys, tune to me. And they happened to be a little bit flat and they just went with it. So it starts with a little G minor triad, but with D on the bass. So G minor over D. Then hold that triad, but with F on the bass. Now we go to an E flat major 7. Here's the coolest part. So as the name of the chord would indicate, E flat major 7 has a major 7th note in it. But in this little descending part, this is a flatted 7th. It's kind of a clash, maybe even sounds a bit off to some ears. But it's very cool and very emotional, I think. Now down a half step to D7, which brings us back to G minor. We're in the key of G minor here. And of course, D7 is the 5 chord, and that's always a strong pull back to the 1. So in true power ballad fashion, it starts with a whisper and then gradually builds. Note that in the first verse, there are still no drums. Speaking of whisper, singer Klaus Meine is literally whispering there in the beginning. Nice change there. We're going to talk about that. There's the whisper again. Klaus's voice it's so nasal, isn't it? It all sounds like it's coming from right about here, but it totally works. I love this. Nice little guitar melody from Matthias. And now right here, you can almost see him just reaching for the volume knob on that second run. Here come the drums.
Fight, baby, fight.
Now, before we pick up with that second verse, I want you to notice just how locked in bassist Francis Buchholz and drummer Herman Rarebell are on the and at the end of the measure and the one that starts the new measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. You hear the bass and the kick drum just going perfectly together. Also notice Rarebell hitting the snare drum only on the 3, not a standard hard rock backbeat on 2 and 4. Snare drum on the 3. This stuff, I'm telling you, is just Power Ballad 101. These guys really wrote the book on this stuff.
Fight, baby, fight.
3 and 4 and 1. And the snare on 3. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is where the swaying Bic lighters come out, right? During the verse, the rhythm guitar sticks with the same arpeggiated picking pattern, starting on the G minor / D again. Here's that cool chord I pointed out earlier. They go to an A major. That's not the actual 2 chord in the key of G minor, but it's really intense. I love it. And then down to the 5 chord D major. And that's it. 3 simple chords for the verse. Now here comes the big hairy chorus that makes you want to play air guitar. Every power ballad's got to have it. Just solid power chords played on the 1, let ring for the whole bar. As always with the Scorpions, beautiful melody no matter how heavy it gets, always melodic. Back to the intro theme. Musically, this song was written by Rudolf Schenker, and believe it or not, he started it way back in 1976. And this is a perfect illustration of how and why the Scorpions' style changed so much after the departure of Uli Roth. At the time, he rejected the song as being too commercial. So it sat around unfinished all those years. Finally, in 1983, after Roth was gone, Rudolph pulled it out again. Klaus Meine added some lyrics, and it was released on the Love at First Sting album. I really dig the Scorpions, but I have to be totally honest and say, in general, I don't think lyrics are their strongest suit. Now, they've had some good ones for sure, but remember, they're German, English is their second language, and sometimes it shows. Klaus has never really totally lost his German accent over the years, even when he's singing. This one, like everything else about this song, is quintessentially power ballad stuff. It's about a love that has gone awry, and the narrator is begging his partner to give it one more try. It needs time to win back your love again. I will be there, I will be there. Love, only love, can bring back your love someday. I will be there, I will be there. If we'd go again all the way from the start, I would try to change things that killed our love. Your pride has built a wall so strong that I can't get through. Is there really no chance to start once again? I'm loving you. Okay, it's not Byron or Shelley, but it gets the job done. Let's follow the tune into its coda. Not surprisingly, we get the long, drawn-out chorus at the end. Some great lead playing from Matthias. As with the group, so with Matthias' lead playing. He can fly, but very melodic as well. That's Klaus's signature move right there. There's a theme coming up that I really like. Right there. We'll talk about that. Matthias uses some unconventional notes that you wouldn't expect necessarily. There it is again. He knows how good it is. So let's check out that phrase I was talking about earlier. In fact, it's two different phrases, and that's where the genius lies. So Matthias starts off fully in the key of G minor as expected. Right here, that's G, A, B flat. That's root 2 and flat 3 in the key of G minor. Exactly what we expect. But listen to what he does the next time around. He adds a major third. That's B natural instead of B flat. And that note really tugs at the heartstrings. Listen again. Originally we had this. Now we get... I love it. And I love what he does at the end too. Right here. He played a major seventh there instead of a flatted seventh, which is what we would expect normally in a minor key. The major seventh implies G harmonic minor, which is a much more exotic sound. I'm telling you, this guy knew what he was doing when he came up with this stuff. Still Lovin' You was released as a single in June of 1984. And get this, it only reached number 64 on the singles chart at the time. That really surprised me. This is still a popular song. It's one of those that I think has really outperformed its initial chart success over the years. Still a song that you hear on the radio constantly. Also, it was more successful in Europe and other countries. It was top 5 in Argentina, Belgium, France, the Netherlands, and Switzerland. It only made number 14 in the Scorpions' native Germany. Go figure that. At any rate, let me know what you guys think. Is Still Lovin' You the Scorpions' best power ballad? Is it one of the greatest power ballads of all time? Do you guys even like power ballads? I know for many of us, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure. Maybe they come across as a little cheesy nowadays, a relic from the 80s, but still very enjoyable if you're in the right mood. Also, earlier I mentioned that I feel the Scorpions were really one of the groups who popularized the genre. So let me know if you guys can think of other bands that did the same thing, maybe even before the Scorpions. That would be a fun discussion. All right, thanks for hanging out to the end, and we'll talk soon.